Jungkook barely had a moment to process the weight of his own words before Taehyung's lips crashed against his, deep and consuming. It wasn't a hesitation, it was a clear ownership of a decision made without regret. Jungkook melted into it, fingers gripping Taehyung's shoulders as their bodies pressed together. He could feel the heat of Taehyung's bare skin, the way his hands roamed with the confidence of a man who knew he wouldn't be pushed away. When they finally broke apart, Jungkook was breathless, his lips swollen from Taehyung's intensity. "You're dangerous," he murmured, voice hoarse. Taehyung smirked, brushing a stray strand of hair from Jungkook's forehead. "And you're mine." Jungkook shivered at those words, but before he could respond, Taehyung shifted, pulling the blanket up to cover their bare bodies. "Rest," he murmured, voice softer now. "You barely got any sleep." Jungkook blinked. "And whose fault is that?" Taehyung chuckled, pressing a lazy kiss to his forehead. "I don't hear you complaining." Jungkook wanted to argue, but exhaustion was creeping in. His body ached deliciously from the night before, and the warmth of Taehyung beside him was lulling him back into drowsiness. He yawned, nuzzling into Taehyung's chest. "This doesn't feel real," he admitted quietly. Taehyung's arms tightened around him. "It is? And I'm not letting you go." Jungkook. The weight of those words settled over him, and for once, Jungkook didn't feel the urge to run. A few hours later, Jungkook woke to the sound of his phone vibrating on the nightstand. He groaned, reaching for it, but before he could grab it, Taehyung's hand beat him to it. The CEO glanced at the screen, his expression darkening. "Your manager." Jungkook's heart skipped a beat. Reality was crashing down. He had skipped work. No calls, no texts. He was supposed to be at the office hours ago. He sat up quickly, only for Taehyung to pull him back down. "Relax." Jungkook stared at him. "Relax? Taehyung, I work for you." "This is bad." Taehyung silenced him with a kiss, slow and deliberate, as if to remind Jungkook just how little he cared about rules when it came to him. When he finally pulled away, his voice was calm but firm. "You don't work under anyone anymore, Jungkook. You're with me now." Jungkook's breath hitched. "What does that even mean?" Taehyung smirked. "It means you're moving up, baby. And I don't share what's mine." Jungkook's pulse raced as Taehyung reached for his phone. And just like that, everything in his life was about to change. Jungkook sat up abruptly, heart pounding. "Taehyung, you can't just." "I can." Taehyung's voice was steady, unwavering. "And I will." Jungkook swallowed hard, watching as Taehyung casually silenced the call. His manager would call again, and then what? The entire office would be questioning where he was. He ran a hand through his messy hair, feeling the weight of the situation settle on him. "You think you can just change everything overnight?" Taehyung smirked, leaning back against the pillows. "I already have." Jungkook's breath hitched as Taehyung pulled him closer, his fingers tracing lazy patterns over his bare shoulder. "You're not just another employee, Jungkook. You're mine." Jungkook's chest tightened. "I worked hard for this job. I don't want people thinking I got here because." Taehyung's eyes darkened. "Because you're in my bed." Jungkook looked away. "That was the problem, wasn't it?" Taehyung cupped his chin, forcing him to meet his gaze. "You're talented, Jungkook. Smart, hard-working. No one can take that away from you." His thumb brushed against Jungkook's lower lip, voice dropping to a whisper. "But I won't let you struggle just to prove a point." Jungkook exhaled shakily, torn between his pride and the undeniable pull toward Taehyung. "I won't be just someone you sleep with," he said finally, voice quiet but firm. Taehyung's gaze softened. "You never were." Jungkook wasn't sure if he believed that yet. But when Taehyung kissed him again, slow and claiming, he felt his resistance start to waver. And maybe, just maybe, he was already too far gone. Jungkook sat on the edge of the bed, Taehyung's words lingering in the air between them. "You never were." The weight of it pressed against his chest. He had spent months proving himself in the company, working late nights, pushing through endless deadlines, determined to carve out his own success. And now, in the span of a night, everything had changed. Or maybe it hadn't. Maybe he had just been blind to it all along. He felt Taehyung shift beside him, strong fingers tracing along his spine. "You're overthinking again," Taehyung murmured. Jungkook let out a shaky breath. I don't want to be seen as someone who slept his way to the top," Taehyung hummed, thoughtful. "Then don't let them see you that way." Jungkook turned to him, brows furrowed. "That's easy for you to say. You're the boss." Taehyung smirked, but his gaze was serious. "Exactly. And you think I'd risk my company, my reputation, on someone who wasn't worth it?" Jungkook froze. He hadn't thought about it that way. Taehyung sat up, leaning closer. "I watched you fight for every opportunity. I watched you take on challenges no one else wanted. Do you really think I'm offering you a promotion because I want you in my bed?" Jungkook hesitated. "Aren't you?" Taehyung exhaled through his nose, shaking his head. "I want you. Not just in my bed, Jungkook. I want you standing beside me. Not as an employee. As my equal." Jungkook's breath caught. "Taehyung, you're brilliant," Taehyung continued, reaching for Jungkook's hand. "And if I didn't think you deserved more, I wouldn't be offering it. But I am." "Because you do," Jungkook swallowed. He had spent so much time running, fearing how others would perceive him. But Taehyung had never doubted him. Not once. His fingers tightened around Taehyung's. "And if I say yes," a slow, knowing smile spread across Taehyung's lips, "then you'll have everything, Jungkook." Jungkook exhaled shakily. "And if I say no?" Taehyung's expression didn't waver. "Then nothing changes. I'll still want you. I'll still keep you." Jungkook let out a soft, breathless laugh. "You're insane," Taehyung smirked. "For you? Always." Jungkook's heart pounded as he stared at the man in front of him, the man who had taken him apart in more ways than one, who had shattered every boundary Jungkook had put up around himself. And he knew, in that moment, there was only one answer. He lifted his chin, eyes locking onto Taehyung's. "Yes." Taehyung's smile widened, slow and victorious, before he pulled Jungkook into his arms, kissing him deep and slow, as if sealing a promise neither of them would ever break. Jungkook wasn't just an employee anymore. He was his. And this time, he wasn't afraid.